It was December 15th, 1983. Linda walked up to this old facility door that was ran by NORAD, and what she didn't realize was it wasn't just like a regular facility. It was more like a fallout shelter. And there was not these giant rooms that she expected, but these long corridors. So she had to walk down all these corridors to get to the exact room that she was supposed to work in. And so she's in this back of this facility and in this room, and there in this room was already a woman waiting for her. She was a young woman, about 22 years old. And Linda, she didn't know her name. She didn't know where she came from. She didn't know who she was. And they told Linda that this is your subject. Her name is Raven. This is the name we have for her because the real name of her was classified. So she asked them, what are my duties going to be? And they said, well, you're going to hook Raven up to this machine and you're going to look at how her mind responds neurologically. So she started hooking this woman up, and then they closed the door of this chamber, and then they would watch her through the two-way windows. And she was just told to push certain buttons. So she kind of just pushed these certain buttons. She could see all these pictures flashing in the room. And then after a few hours, there was a ring, almost like the microwave when it went off. So when Linda was actually looking over this data, she was like, this isn't right. There's something strange about this. It wasn't just one neural wavelength that she was looking at. It was actually two. It's pretty much showing that there's two people in there. And so she was like, why are there two separate wavelengths? This doesn't make sense at all. And so they asked her, they said, are there any kind of discrepancies in the wavelength? And she said, no, there's no discrepancies, but she still was kind of confused. The officer just said, okay, well, you're done for the day. Thank you. You can come back tomorrow. And as she was leaving the room, she could hear the woman in the background. And she was screaming. She's like, I saw it. The home that was destroyed and bombed, it didn't get destroyed. It's still there. And Linda, who was still confused, wanted to hear more, but before she could, she kind of got shoved out of the room. Well, over the next few weeks, she was just running these tests and she saw these same kind of patterns. And she was so confused by it. And every time she'd hear this woman talking about this other place that she was going to, her home, and that it existed, and this wasn't really reality. That's when everything changed. Linda went in like she normally did, and she plugged this woman Raven up to this test, and she ran the test like she normally did. And everybody was kind of tense on that day. There was something different about the officers. Like they had some kind of foreseen knowledge that she didn't have. So the woman Raven, she was in her chair. She's ready to go. The chamber door locked behind her, and they started again doing the test. All of a sudden the machine, it started smoking and bugging out. And so the officers, they're trying to get the door open and trying to shut the machine off. And as they're doing this, Linda finally went up to the window to see kind of what was happening. And the next thing she knew, the woman just vanished. And that's when she found out what they were really doing. She pushed her mind into this other body, this other version of herself. So the two wavelengths that were actually there that became one were actually the wavelength of the woman in the parallel universe and this girl named Raven's in our universe.